Hello and welcome to the Arkansas Weather Blog. We are your ticket to big weather events, recording this Tuesday, March 3rd at about 8:15 in the morning. Boy, here we go. The trends with the models. I got a ton of information to go over here with the GFS, the European model, and our thinking as well. But the trend for central and southern Arkansas is more towards the NAM, the North America model, in terms of timing. I think that this is going to possibly be slower in getting in here. So when you wake up Wednesday morning, it may just be rain. And then stay rain for much of the morning into the afternoon. And while northern Arkansas is getting their first part of the winter storm, that freezing line will slowly move towards the south. And then I think the transition, again, subject to change pending new model data, but the transition in central Arkansas won't happen until mid to late afternoon, and then southern Arkansas on Wednesday night. So that's the current thinking right now. And here are the possible amounts. The big problem as well, the differences with the models, we have to figure out how deep this cold air is going to be. The moisture really isn't in question. It's the depth of the cold air and how much sleet versus freezing rain versus snow. You're given X amount of moisture that we're going to get. How much of that's rain, how much of that is sleet, how much of that is freezing rain, and how much of that is snow. So what you're seeing here is a very preliminary map. And I will fully admit that for northern Arkansas, these numbers may be conservative. That's why I put the plus, 3 to 6 inches of sleet and some snow up across northern and northeastern Arkansas. Good buddy Ryan Vaughn up there following this as well, so make sure you follow him on Twitter and his blog. 3 to 6 inches. There could be some higher amounts, and if there are higher amounts, I would expect it in this corridor. Across west central, and parts of southeast Arkansas, I would expect 1 to 3 inches of sleet. Now, this is where the problems exist. The European model shows mostly snow, but I think there will be a combination of sleet and then snow, and there could be some freezing rain. So we're going to see all types of precipitation. Further southwest Arkansas, I think mostly freezing rain and up to 1/4 of an inch. So again, all this is subject to change, but I've got the plus sign there because there's some data like the GFS here. This is the run last night. Again, this is just a computer model, but this sort of shows, along with some of the other data, the possibility, and it's closer to our thinking. Now, remember, I said amounts up here could be, I said 3 to 6, and you see 7 and 8. Like I said, 3 to 6, and then I wouldn't doubt if there was a 7 or 8 inch. It may not be at Jonesboro, it may be further north and east, but this is the corridor, I think, of where you're going to see the highest amounts, and then decreasing, of course, further south. It says 5.8 here in Little Rock. I've got 1 to 3 with isolated higher amounts. We may take that up in time to 2 to 4 with isolated higher amounts. I do think some of this will be sleet, and then lesser amounts further towards the south. So, like I said, as of this morning, there's still a lot of things that can change with this. But you saw what our preliminary forecast is, and it is subject to change. We're not just throwing out maps out there that say 15 inches and then other maps that show 0. We're going to take a stand and then fine-tune it as we go. Winter storm warning is in effect for much of the state, for all the counties you see in pink, hot pink, and then you have the winter storm watch, which surrounds that. I got a feeling a lot of these will be converted to warning. The impact for northern Arkansas, again, notice here the timing, Wednesday. So northern Arkansas Wednesday, a high travel impact because the minimal amounts of freezing rain, which causes power outages. I don't have that listed at this time. Again, subject to change. And then schools tomorrow. If you know the school con index you've seen for tomorrow, it's hitting northern Arkansas. All right, what about, I put these out of order again, but we'll go to southern Arkansas. I'm going to go to central next. But anyway, southern Arkansas, notice the time period, late Wednesday into Thursday morning. Low, low, and medium. Central Arkansas, this is for Wednesday mid-afternoon to Thursday morning. Again, we may get quite a bit of rain when you wake up in the morning. Travel, a high impact. There is a little concern for some power outages due to the freezing rain potential. Schools, a high impact, but maybe not Wednesday, more into Thursday for central and southern Arkansas. Let's go to the model maps. GFS. I'm going to show you the GFS and the Euro and the differences which exist. Mild day today quickly gets replaced. This is, and the GFS timing of this is trending towards the NAM. This is at noon, and it's got the freezing line still at noon north of Little Rock. That's the red line you see right there. You see you get rain, then the transition to freezing rain, and then as that cold air gets deeper, as the further north you go, you get sleet and then snow. So you're getting sleet and snow Wednesday morning across the northern 1/3 of the state. Watch how that moves between noon and 6 p.m. according to the GFS. Again, we're looking at one piece of data, one run. It's run 4 times a day. But you see how this bends towards the southeast? See how that ice, the freezing rain, bends like that? That's due to northeasterly winds driving that very cold Arctic chill down the east side of the Ozarks and right down the 167 corridor. So this makes some sense. So you've got sleet, freezing rain, southern Arkansas, you're still rain, and then snow, the precipit's changing over to snow across the north, according to the GFS. Then between 6 p.m. and midnight, you see that transition goes further towards the south. It's all snow across much of western, northern, and portions of central Arkansas, sleet for much of the rest of the state. Then between midnight and 6 a.m., on the backside, that cold air gets deeper, and it's 32 degrees or colder from the surface all the way up. The GFS says snow from southwest through central and northeast Arkansas and sleet across the southeastern corner. Now, thank you, Euroweather.com. Precip type depiction. This is Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. All rain changing over to, and again, the pink here on this is a mix. The purple is ice, which is freezing rain. Then the blue is the snow. So let's see the depiction. This is mostly snow according to the European. And this is kind of the concern that maybe the snow amounts could be higher. So that's why we gave a preliminary forecast. It could be adjusted. This is Wednesday by 18Z, which is noon. Still rain, but it's very good and consistent with the other models with the freezing line right in here where you get that transition to ice, sleet, a mix there, and then snow. By 6 p.m., freezing rain all the way down into southern Arkansas. So you're getting a large area of freezing rain, sleet, and then snow. But watch this. By between midnight, or rather 6 p.m. and midnight, you're getting mostly snow, freezing rain here, and sleet. It has a much larger area of snow. And then by midnight to 6 a.m. on Thursday, much of the state snow, whereas you saw the other model which shows this area mainly sleet. And then it's gone. And amounts of snow, obviously, on the European are much greater due to the fact that it seems to be a little bit colder in the vertical. Wow, a lot going on. So you don't like winter weather? Okay. We're going to warm things up late in the weekend and into next week. High sun angle in March means that what's on the roads, again, I don't want to underplay this and minimize this at all. Roads are going to be rotten when this starts and as it's precipitating. But once it stops and we get a little sun out and some solar radiation, we're going to melt those roads off with this higher sun angle in March. And so I don't think this is going to be a very long-term impact event for much of the state. Wind is another major issue with this. I think winds are going to be out of the north-northeast, 15 to 25 miles per hour and gusty in areas that do get freezing rain and some heavy wet snow. You got to worry about some of those power outages, and we showed you that with the threat index with that. So stay with Channel 7. We will keep you updated at ktv.com and right here on the Arkansas Weather Blog. Have a great day, everybody.